82 loyalist skulls in the pile. 82 loyalist skulls. Crush one to dust and drink it with blood. 81 loyalist skulls in the pile. The timeline has progressed. It is now 1995, February 12th, 21 hours, 14 minutes and 15 seconds. Now that we have established all of the facts in matter of the hand, we can begin. We can turn up the music. We can get into the intro segment. We can pop up that. And we can eventually, once it decides to pop up, because it does a thing. It's a full screen game that only has windowed or full screen mode, so it doesn't play well with me clicking off the screen. It just kind of disappears, so that's going to be a bit of a... might be cause some delays here and there, but anyway, hello there, greetings and welcome. I am Karyontro, and today we are going to be going through a visual novel by the title of Trick and Treat. Visual novel. I guess it doesn't have the title here, but that's fine. Trick and Treat. I'm assuming it's a Halloween themed one. Maybe, maybe not. Could be something else. I mean, the name supposedly says that. But anyway, it's a short one, supposedly, according to the visual novel database. So we should be able to get through it in one sitting, from start to finish. No, like, 90-hour playlist to go through for this one. Not this one. Yes, that's where we are in the actual real-time timeline. Coming off of completing the first very, very long, probably the longest series that I will do for quite a while, of Root Double Before Crime After Days Extended Edition. And extended indeed it was, fucking hell. I even discovered that YouTube has a 12-hour limit on its videos, so that forced me to split it. Yes, the last part of that was supposed to be like 13 hours and 7 minutes long or something like that, but no, YouTube says no. Bit of a shame. I don't like uploading many videos at once. I really don't like that. I want to have as few videos as possible, honestly. If it's combined into one thing, then I want it to be one thing. I don't want to, like, post a bunch of short ones. Like, that's not... no, it's inconvenient for me. Like, it's literally inconvenient for me. And what is that other sound? Can you hear it? You probably can. It's quite loud, and this microphone is fairly sensitive. Maybe. It'll definitely appear while speaking. Someone is blowing a fan, and... okay, I need to close the door. Fucking hell. I'm gonna have... we haven't even begun, and I need to cut things from this archive. Bollocks. Not sure how much that helps, if at all. But anyway, we are in the the intro phase. The pre-intro is done. We are in the intro phase. So before we get to it, we have to practice our vocal cords for a tad bit. And so, and we need to reset our mind, indeed, as is conveniently stated above and below, to delve into madness. Now then. So, what can we do to distract our minds? Well, as the Onion so gracefully and helpfully points us out, that we have an observation target. Because cat placed on 5 minutes half-assed observation after possibly ingesting plastic thing. They do that. Cats are little bastards like that sometimes. Precious little angels, but they're also shit-eating bastards at the same time. They're beautiful. Austin, Texas. Immediately jumping into superficial action, local woman Catherine Nielsen, 32, placed her cat Reggie on 5 minutes of half-assed observation Tuesday night after the Great Tabby possibly ingested a small plastic thing from her apartment floor. I saw him gnawing on some little white piece of plastic, so I'm just going to briefly and sporadically glance over at him for the next couple of minutes, said Nielsen while seated on her living room sofa, vowing to reporters that she would not let Reggie leave her peripheral vision until after the next commercial break. I'll just make sure he's not making any weird noise or anything. Really, as long as I'm in the same room as him and occasionally remember to look over in his direction, that should probably be fine. At press time, Nielsen's cat had quietly retreated to the corner to finish chewing on the piece of plastic. Excellent. Brilliant. Perfect. Cat is cat. There you go, that's the clickbaity thing. Yeah, bye-bye clickbait. I'm not gonna use that visual. There's gonna be a proper thumbnail and stuff like that. So, I don't do clickbaity stuff either. Fuck that. It's annoying. I don't want to be the subject of clickbait stuff. Now then, indeed. What has happened in between? Is there anything to report? Nothing to report. No, indeed not. So, there's really nothing further to go on about other than just begin a new adventure. Yes. Eventually this will decide to pop back in. Eventually. And it is complicated. Look, it's complicated. Things are complicated. Alright? Alright, good. Let's begin. Let's start. Wow, that's a classic sound. Default sound. The sound of our steps, combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animal, is the only thing we can hear. I can only hear some music, but that's fine. It's terribly dark in this place. The dense vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. Our flashlights are the only things that light up on our way. Is this going to be a Slender Man thing as well? I don't care about Slender Man. I mean, okay, fine, that's a generic thing at this point. But whatever. The visuals are literally the same as that. At times like this, one begs to not run out of battery. Sure. We walk without knowing what we are really looking for, or better said, for no reason. That's fine. Teenagers? I assume these are teenagers, or young adults. We are just a group of boys bored with our lives. So yeah, teenagers. Trying to create a lasting memory on this night, instead of just staying home doing nothing. You can create lasting memories at home. You know, there's tons of board games to do, like they're fucking exciting as well. You can make some memories, but this is reasonable. I'm almost dying in the forest of some witches and vampires or whatever the fuck we're gonna encounter. It's also a thing we can do. Yes, that's gonna be memorable. It'll definitely, like, it might be someone's last memories here as well. Well, we'll see. We'll see what this does. Today is October 31st, All Hallows Eve, better known as Halloween. 3 young men walk through a dark, but up until now nothing special forest, me being one of them. We are doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. Seeing it like that, one could say this is a meaningless effort. But come on now. Why do you need a girl there to see how brave you are? Like, that's such a... Well, I mean, it's a typical scenario. Bullshit, cliches and tropes and blah 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 blah. Like, I don't mind cliches and tropes, they just need to be presented in a proper way. And this was, like, mentioning that just offhanded like that just makes me kind of like, piss off with that kind of attitude. Besides, you can prove your courage to yourself, because you don't actually know what the fuck is in the forest. You can get cut, get infectious diseases and stuff like that. That's fucking dangerous. That's worse than any other bullshit you can think of. Maybe, right? I don't know what I'm thinking of. Look, these are a stream of consciousness, okay? I don't know what I'm saying, and I'm not gonna care. We're moving on. For a moment, I stopped to look at my watch. It's 1:49 a.m. Okay, it's fairly late, but I stay up that late fairly irregularly myself. That means we've been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. Okay. Walking aimlessly, so not a very brisk pace. At most, you are... slow pace of bored teenagers. I'm guessing there may be like 3, 4, maybe 5 kilometers away from their homes. At most. At most. I'm basing this off of my own walking speed, which is roughly 6 kilometers an hour on a good day. Slightly slower on a bad day. And like, they're bored teenagers, they're walking aimlessly, so it's very... And they're a group. Groups always walk fast, slower than individuals. Always. So yeah, they're not far from anything important. like they're safe. Just run in one direction for like 20 minutes and you'll be bound to hear a road somewhere. So, like forests do not encircle cities. Not anymore. That's not a thing these days. There's too many roads. At least well, it depends on where they live. But if it's in Europe, well, near a large city, then no. The city is not surrounded by forests. Forests are webbed by roads and buildings and stuff like that. They are isolated. You can literally see on the map the little segments of forest, separated by roads and highways and bridges and suburban areas and stuff like that. I am sure that many people would find a place like this terrifying. It's just a forest. It's just a fucking forest. Unless you do live in an actual fictional land with supernatural elements. Oh, right, supernatural elements. Alright, there was a thing I wanted to make a mental note of earlier to like try to get to some visual novels that don't have supernatural elements or like high, sci-fi elements. Maybe I'll succeed this time, maybe. Hopefully. I would like to get to one of those because all the ones I've done so far have had something supernatural in them. They're like demons or parallel dimensions or telepathy or the Cthulhu entities and stuff like that. Like, so, can I get just some normal people fucking around with each other? I mean, not fucking, I don't need that. That's hentai and I don't care about that. You're never gonna see anything like that here. No nipples, no sex, none of that stuff. Get that out of here. Don't care about that. Give me some drama, give me some action, give me some, maybe horror. Although I'm not a particular fan of psychological. Anyway, moving on, I'm waffling a bit too much. This is going to take like 3 hours at this pace. But once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. Yes, the human mind can adapt to any situation, and making it normal. What makes us afraid of the dark is that we cannot know what hides in it, what lurks in the shadows. But this is clearly an empty darkness. At that moment, I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. Weak. Legs are tired after only 2 hours of walking. Pathetic. No, well, I guess if you're not used to it, then fine, that would hurt eventually, but still. Still, it's just 2 hours. Do you have like a big backpack or tons of clothes on you or something like that weighs you down? No? Then weak. Work on your constitution. What is the point of being here? Clearly we had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would be best to return. I should tell them. But the ominous fog. I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest becomes strange. Suddenly a cold chill runs through my body. It was like any other chill, except it was not going away. For no reason, the air's temperature dropped from 1 second to the other. So much so, my breath becomes visible, turning into mist. It doesn't end there. The air is now filled with a rotten smell, just a little short from being unbearable. Images of worms and flies soon appeared in my mind, giving me a really unpleasant feeling. We all stop at that moment. What's happening? Axel. I asked, confused, while turning to look at my friends. By the expression on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. It was then that we heard footsteps nearby that did not come from any of us. We all got dead quiet after that. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless, like statues, without making a noise. Just looking at each other's faces, wondering the same thing. What was happening, friend? Oh, it doesn't even get a name. Oh, you're dead. Or missing, or something, or irrelevant otherwise. You don't even have a name. We haven't named Axel and me, I'm just friend. As if I could know. We heard the steps again. They clearly belonged to a human, or at least to a large animal, but there is something strange about them. It sounds as if the person walked dragging one foot. Just thinking about it made me shiver. Damn, why is this happening? Makes no sense. We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret it. I have the feeling that we are being stalked by someone. The strange footsteps stop, but I'm still feeling the presence nearby. I don't know what it is, but I know that it's looking at me. That cursed thing is looking at me. My heart is beating anxiously. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of there. Do it. Follow your gut instincts. Run. Run, little Timmy, Axel. but strangely my friends seemed unable to perceive it. "It seems it's gone. It must have been just an animal," said one of them, convinced that we were safe. I would like to believe that too. We had a sigh of relief. However, bad luck would soon strike us again. Oh dear. Unexpectedly, the forest becomes darker than before in just the blink of an eye. But that wasn't the fault of the forest, but of our flashlights, which went out. Of the three, only one, mine, was still working. "What's going on? Did the batteries die?" "No," asked one of them, scared while they both beat them desperately, as if that was going to revive them. I can't blame them. The idea of walking in the darkness was not pleasant for anyone. But after a few moments, we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Once more, the sound of our footsteps is heard. But the silence is different now. We are not quiet because we have nothing to say, but because we are afraid. We continue walking despite the fear that invades us. Visibility is almost zero, but we have no choice. In theory, we were walking back looking for the exit, but I cannot remember anything of this forest. We could be walking in circles, and I would never notice it until it is too late. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of here. Suddenly, my thoughts are silenced. We hear the footsteps of someone, or something. Once more, the three of us become statues, awaiting the presence to go. I hold my breath while feeling my heart beating anxiously. Damn! Get away from here! Leave us alone! Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer. This time they did not disappear, but come at us. I can't stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight everywhere, looking for the author of those footsteps, hoping for the light to reveal that identity and erase our fears. Nothing. Is that all there is around here? Just empty air? My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move the flashlight again, I see a silhouette. I could not distinguish what it was, but for a moment, the light revealed something. Quickly, I point to the same place only to discover it was gone. I hold my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I am sure that I saw something. It was then that I hear something nearby. Without even thinking, I aim the light towards that place. What I found leaves us paralyzed with an expression of disbelief on our faces. Oh, it is a white cat with eyes of an intense red, which stands before us. Okay, just a kitty cat. Well, that was anxiety-inducing for just a cat. But this is a familiar of a witch, isn't it? Her look is not the friendliest, to say something. Well, it's a cat. It's a cat. Most of them do not particularly look friendly. They literally evolved to mimic the appearance and sounds a little bit of snakes. Like this little triangular face and the darting eyes. Intimidating. Just by design. Well, not design, just evolution. Somehow I get the feeling it's a female cat. Suddenly she lets out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. I could insert the meow from earlier, but I didn't record that. I could go back to the Twitch archive before this person do that, but yeah, that's extra work. Am I gonna do that? No. Meow. There, I did it myself. Saving myself the trouble. It sounded more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. Meow. There we go. The echo of her meow is heard throughout the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hits us three. Oh. I fall to the ground, and little by little my eyelids close. The fatigue becomes unbearable. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen with me. Oh dear. Water. Interlude before night falls. Mystery. I love a good mystery. Oh. Okay. Alright, we're doing that. It is a day like any other. So normal that was almost painful. The only special thing that could be said about it is that it's October 31st. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least seems like that. There were some who had good costumes, whether of superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, "You will be the devil." But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went from home to home, everyone said I was the tomato man. But those things didn't matter to me since we always had a good time. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I am 17 years old. You're still a child. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality, we are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We are still not old enough to go to a disco, and I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. The other option would be to go up to a party, meet girls and have fun. Everything perfect, except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. You can just show up to a party. Well, I guess you can't. It depends on how big. Fucking social circles. Teenage social circles are like a fucking nightmare. No, they can be. Still no name. Hey Axel, let's have a couple matches. What do you say? My friend Steve, oh he does have a name, Steven, called my attention while playing with the game console. Rush Red, I believe that's what the game is called. A fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I don't feel in the mood today. Sometimes you're just not in the mood. I have no desire to play now. I replied with discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Boring. The AI is no rile for me. Steven said with confidence. That you're playing on normal difficulty does not help your argument. Yeah, I mean if you don't like the... look, he just wants to have some fun with a friend. Come on now. It's not relevant. I don't feel like losing, but if you want you can challenge Alfred. I said, leading the attention to my other friend. I don't know how to play that. Doesn't matter, just play, have some fun with your friends, goddammit. Answered Alfred, doubting for a second. He's sitting behind the PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he is in Wikipedia. Hey, that's informative. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement, without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. That does actually cause a lot of problems, yes, he's correct on that. If you don't know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. It rhymes, it doesn't literally repeat one for one, but we can see that every day, every place, everywhere, all the time. He is one of those pseudo-intellectuals, always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. Like that does need to be a purpose to not, regurgitating information you learn. It's fine to learn anything about whatever you want, but if you're gonna regurgitate it to others, then there has to be a point to it. There has to be kind of a point. You have to make it cohesive. You can't just spout random facts. That means nothing. That just makes you sound like a fucking smartass and makes people not really like you. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. He added later. What are you talking about? This village is small and its story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. The very fact it is a small town is the reason it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago, on this date, a man disappeared? Ooh. So, what about it? I asked without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place. Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an arrogant gesture. There is a legend behind the disappearance. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed that it is not Wikipedia, but some other page. Come on, read this and learn a little. Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Steve and I moved closer to read it. Town of Abington, Oxfordshire County. Country? County. It's not country. Come on, it's a basic mistake, don't make that. 1984. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I've seen thousands of strange things in my life. I've seen many crimes, yes, some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham, 23 years, single. The last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drank alcohol but was still sober, or at least that's what witnesses said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with a simple drunkenness. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently, he walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say stop, but the truth is we don't know what happened then. The tracks suddenly ended up in a clearing in the forest. And that's all. There was no evidence of struggle, no other trace, or pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, or anything else. The depth of his last footprints and the position they were in indicated that he was still walking. At no point he stood still. It was as if he had vaporized in the air, with all his clothes in the middle of his walk. Obviously, I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints I sensed the faint smell of a rot. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think he suddenly started to decay and became earth. In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days. With no evidence of any kind, we couldn't say anything but that we had decided to escape from the village. However, while officially there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace. Thinking about what could have happened took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories, like maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew, but in the end, they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and to my surprise, I found 4 more. All young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. But there's more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this. And that is the separation of the years. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1924. Mitchell Smith disappeared in 1867. Jason Black disappeared in 1813. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappeared in 1707. Quite a distance. It simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. It was then that when I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually had a great story. Before it was called Oakwood, or Oaks Forest, the place was called Witchwood. The word witch has huge similarity with witch. They're pronounced identically basically. Taking into consideration that it is an old name and language changes over time, that indicates that it was the forest of witches. Apparently, more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all of the information is already lost. There were stories told in voice, without a properly written record. I just know that with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently, the last one before her death cast a curse in the forest which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, obviously I cannot accept something like that as the answer. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each one of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Interesting story. I didn't know that such a story was hiding in this town. I said honestly surprised. Even if it is a lie, it managed to hold my interest. Wait, there's something more. Alfred said. At the same time, he scrolls to the comments. Oh, the comments. Fine. We read what is written there. A couple of comments call our attention. Both of them talk about some creature. At that time, they felt a horrible fear for what could happen to them. Well, the 2 comments shared great similarities, but they could have been written by the same person. There are many others that deny it. Looks like many people went to the forest because of the legend, but couldn't find anything. I thought that you only read these things to look more cool before the girls, replied Stephen as a joke. Alfred giggles with a little shame. Partly, yes. He admitted it. That was a secret everybody silently knew. Well, well, now we have an activity for tonight, Steven said at the same time. He makes a face overflowing with enthusiasm. What? I asked, completely lost. I thought we were just killing time. Simple. Let's go to that forest. Steven replied without hesitation. He seemed really fascinated by the story. Are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he just heard. You only needed to look at his face to know he did not like the idea. Despite everything you've heard, you want to go? Of course, it will be a test of courage among us three, replied Steven, full of confidence. Perhaps too much. He should relax a bit. Don't tell me you're afraid. No, why should I be afraid? Answered Alfred. At the same time, he folds his arms, making a false gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you are afraid, Alfred. Almost as much as when you have to talk with a girl. And what about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Suddenly, Steven asks me, at the same time looking at me mockingly. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. I hate that tone of voice he used. I will never give you that, I said without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. Well, let's not say more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We are going to the forest. Steven said, full of energy. Yeah! We three said in unison, as if we were going to have some kind of private party, not really knowing what we were doing or what we were going to find. 2:13 a.m. Back in the forest. Alright, so that was the setup. Backstory. I awake completely confused, not knowing how much time had passed. My head hurts like hell, but I can't blame it. Fortunately, the pain goes away quickly, just as my confusion. Soon I come back to my senses. My flashlight is lying on the ground, shining towards the empty air. I immediately pick it up. It was my only protection against the darkness that surrounds me. Then I remember that Steven and Alfred were with me. Steven! Alfred! Can you hear me? Without thinking, I scream their names in the dark, while trying to find them with my flashlight. But there is no trace of them. They are gone. Where the hell are they? And what the heck just happened? I really don't understand anything. Shit, we should have stayed at home. This is not a proof of courage. We could be in danger. I have to find them. 2:19 a.m. Okay. 6 minutes of walking around. Little time has passed since I started to look for my friends, and I already can't stand this place. I'm going crazy in this forest. The darkness that covers it is unnatural. It is darkness that steals your own sanity, replacing it with anxiety. To make it worse, the air is damp and cold as in winter, carrying a strong rot smell. As if there were corpses of animals hidden throughout the forest. Which there might be, it's a forest. Although, typically, if some animal kills another one, they usually use it for food. Or something picks it up. Ravens or whatever. The atmosphere in this place is oppressive. With every step you take, it makes you more uncomfortable. Since I started to look for my friends, I felt that something is watching me, but there is nothing. I sigh with my voice full of frustration. I just want to get out of here. I continue walking, devoid of any hope. No matter where I look or how much I walk, I find nothing. I cannot even hear the sounds of animals. Rather, it seems they are already dead and rotting. No, I have to calm myself, I said to myself. I stopped for a moment to rest. I breathed deeply, but the rotten air of this place does me no good. Yeah, breathing in the rotten air. Breathing nasty. Immediately, I start to cough as if I had something stuck in the throat. Shit, what am I gonna do? This cursed forest seems endless. And even if by miracle I could escape, I cannot abandon Steven and Alfred. I'm really screwed up. Again, I sigh, feeling on the verge of tears. My frustration is building up, but I have to do my best to keep calm. If I fall to despair, then there is no doubt I will be joining the list of missing persons. In the end, I decided to keep walking. Step by step, I should get somewhere. At least I was convinced that staying in the same place would do me no good. Even if it was only to deceive myself, feeling that I am doing something, I wanted to continue walking. Time passes without any changes. Only the sound of my footsteps can be heard. Knowing that as soon as you stop, you will be surrounded by a dead silence is a good incentive to keep walking. But my legs were already hurting. Suddenly, I hear a crack at my feet. Instantly, I take a step back and look below to see what made that sound. What is this? I whispered to myself, surprised, discovering that I had stepped on animal bone. I believe that it's from an animal, although I do not rule out the possibility that it belongs to a person. Not for my own good, I prefer not to think about that. An expression of anguish is drawn on my face. It is best to ignore it. I have to keep walking. Suddenly, my flashlight reveals something. Without hesitation, I point towards there again. Oh, it's the cat. Only to realize with the surprise that it is the white cat. The one from before which made that awful meow, but this time I find it lying on the ground. It appears to be fainted and is wounded. Then what should I do? Oh, fucking hell, decisions, choices. Mysterious voices. It's a witch is familiar, pick it up. It is best to continue without waking her. That cat is dangerous. It's her fault that I ended up in this place and my friends are missing. But even knowing that, for some strange reason I can't help but feel sorry for her. Even if it is unnatural, it is still an animal. And I then bend down to see her closer. She's unconscious and there's a thin line of blood coming from her mouth. I'm a real idiot. I said to myself, at the same time I cleaned the blood from her mouth with a handkerchief that I had with me. Fortunately, she doesn't wake up. I then close her mouth, making her appearance a little better. Now she seems to be peacefully sleeping. After a long sigh, I decide to pick her up carefully. I don't know what the powers of this cat are, but if she brought me here, maybe she can return me to my world. With her in my arms, I decide that the best thing I can do is continue walking. 2:31 a.m. The forest. Again, I find myself in a dark forest walking aimlessly. Only moving forward, but it didn't seem I was getting somewhere. In my arms I carry the cat which sleeps soundly. Come here. Here you'll be safe. I suddenly stop. It was probably easy to see the disbelief on my face at that moment. It's that voice again. I whispered to myself with no one to listen to me. Shortly after I found the cat, a mysterious voice appeared in my mind. It is a feminine voice, soft and gentle, as if it belonged to a princess from a fairy tale, but I can't trust it. Am I really going crazy? Or is it this forest that doesn't make any sense? I don't know, but I don't like any of the two options. I then feel the cat move in my arms. I look down at her confused, just to see how she opens her red eyes suddenly. Hello. I become quiet at that instant. For a moment, the two stayed motionless, staring into the eyes of the other. The red eyes of the cat are disturbing to me, but also there is something fascinating about them, something that attracts me. I lose myself in her eyes as if hypnotized, until suddenly she jumps with the intent of scratching my face. Oi! Goddamn cats. My reflex is pushing her at the same time I jump back, turning my head to dodge her claws. I managed to dodge her attack, but in the process I dropped my flashlight. I panicked and acted clumsily. The flashlight falls near me, lighting up a tree in the vicinity. As soon as it left my hands, I remember how dense this abnormal darkness is. I quickly pick up, not even thinking before taking action. I then light the place where the cat was, only to discover that she had arched her body angrily, as if she feared an attack from me. Those red eyes stare at me, shining with the light of the flashlight as if they were jewels, reflecting a fearsome hatred and rejection towards me. My body freezes after seeing them. I can't even think. The cat then lets out a thunderous meow, similar to the one before, but weaker. Although not any less frightening. Meow! There is no doubt there is something wrong with that animal. It must be cursed. Everything is her fault. She must be some kind of evil spirit, a pet of the witches, a familiar even. I feel how panic seizes me. My heart beats quickly, begging me to do something. My mouth is dry and my forehead covered with cold sweat. What should I do? Don't fight the cat. Escape from the cat. Come on now. There's no need to fight the cat. That's stupid. It is best for me to escape from this cursed cat. Like, cats do the whole, like, raising their tails and, like, expanding their fur and everything else and, like, hissing to ward off predators and other things like that. Like it's not an invitation to combat, it's trying to make itself look much bigger than it is and to frighten away the thing it is being threatened by. Like that's what it's for. But this is a magical cat, potentially. Currently, it hasn't actually exhibited any magical things. But anyway, I made a mistake by bringing her with me. That cat only brings problems. I don't feel very sure about that voice, but perhaps it can guide me to the exit. It sounds kind, and I certainly don't want to stay with this animal. With that in mind, I try to move forward, but the cat blocks my path. Okay, so it is inviting us to battle. No matter how high I try to move, she moves faster than me, showing me her claws and fangs furiously as if preparing to attack me. My instinct tells me that it would be better to not go one step further. I don't know what she can do, but that cat is dangerous. Alright, white cat, red eyes. White bunny, red eyes. Oh, that bunny fucked everything up. The bunny is smaller than the cat. Therefore, the cat is less dangerous than the bunny. Yes, correct. I'm not gonna explain that. If you know, you know. If you don't, then don't. Holy Grail. That's the hint you have. Suddenly, the cat begins to meow thunderously, almost making me deaf. Meow! My heart skips a beat with each of them, as if I were hearing a wild beast roar furiously. My breathing becomes agitated. Those meows are racking my nerves. Meow! I have no other way out. I don't care about the voice anymore. All I want is to lose that cat from sight. So not wasting a second more, I start to run in the opposite direction, begging she was not following me. I run through the forest, not looking back, forgetting about everything except my desire to get away from her. I have no idea where I'm going, or how long it's been since I started to run, but I don't care. My lungs burn and my heart beats anxiously, begging me for a rest, but I cannot give myself that luxury. Stronger than the pleas of rest for my body are the pleas for my soul crying, terrified, asking me to continue running until I can't anymore. Sometimes I hear that strange voice again, sounding in my head. But whenever it happens, the echo of the cat's meows are heard throughout the forest, freezing my blood again and reminding me that I cannot stop. Meow, meow, meow. I feel sorry for the voice, but I can't answer your call. We made the wrong choice. This is dead end. I'm so desperate that more than 3 times I've fallen flat to the ground. Well, maybe. We'll see. And many more times that hurt with the branches of trees. But that pain doesn't stop me. I'll keep running until my legs can't go one single step further. 2:57 a.m. Okay. The moon. I don't know for how long I have been running, but for some minutes I haven't heard any of them. Neither the voice nor the meows. Much to my relief. Finally, I stop, resting my hands on my knees and feeling on the verge of fainting. I breathe using my mouth, trying to fill my lungs with as much air as I can, while my legs hurt as if they had been hammered mercilessly. But this pain does not bother me, because I finally feel safe. Suddenly, I look up only to find something that fills me with joy. I see the exit of the forest. I did it! I escaped this demonic forest. I didn't become another victim of the disappearances. Just thinking about it almost brings tears to my eyes. Axel! Axel! No, inverted, the thing, exclamation mark. Fuck, I forget words often, it happens. Suddenly I hear someone calling my name. But it isn't any strange voice, it's the voices of my friends who are looking for me. Hey, over here! I shout without hesitation, with a bit of difficulty because of my shortness of breath. Soon they found me and impatiently ran towards me. Where were you? The warrior was killing us, Stephen said with a face that I don't remember having ever seen before. Before answering, I take a deep breath. Inside the forest, I couldn't find the exit. That's strange. After that hit us, we both woke up out of the woods. We thought that you'd be close, but we couldn't find you anywhere, explained Alfred, who also looks at me with great relief on his face. And you didn't try and find me in the forest? I said, feeling a little annoyed because they didn't go to save me as great friends. Well, personal safety as well, though, but still you can't blame them for not doing that. Instantly, both Stephen and Alfred shake their heads in denial. I didn't want to go back in. Fair enough, Alfred said, almost eating nails from imagining it. Me neither. After seeing that demonic cat, no. I mean, fair enough. Fair fucking enough. They're like teenagers. They're 17. Like, come on now. Also, we had hopes that you would be outside just as we were. Also fair enough. Since they mysteriously woke up outside the forest, why wouldn't the third of them wake up as well? I sigh after hearing them, but I soon forget my annoyance. Well, I really can't blame you. The most important thing is that we're all safe. Yeah, but that was something terrifying, confessed Steven with a pale face. After that roar, I didn't know what was going to become of us. I was about to tell them about all I had to go through, but just before saying a word, I changed my mind. They didn't need to know. The important thing is that we escaped and nobody got hurt. Well, I think we had enough of this test of courage. We should better get back home, I said, looking horribly tired. Without hesitation, both of them responded with a nod. After that, everyone started to walk back home, without looking back. Despite everything, I have to say that our main goal was fulfilled. We had a memorable night. The legend is true. Now I know it. Okay. End. Okay. Okay. Obviously not the correct path. Obviously we need to make the other choices to anger the witches. But you know what? That's fine. That is one path. Right. You know what? Okay. Alright, that's fine. We shall... decisions. Well, I'll make a decision. But that is one path where nothing particularly exciting happens. It's fine on its own. But... okay, I think I've decided that... oh, this is wrong. We've already had this. Well, I'll decide next time on what to do with that. Will I make another run of this, or will I do a different thing? It's difficult to make that decision. Anyway, some music. To distract ourselves from something else. So Eminem, Lose Yourself, Nazareth, When the Lights Come Down, Bryan Adams, Heat of the Night, Electric Light Orchestra, Mr. Blue Right, and In Excess, Hungry. For the longest time I just pronounced it as INXS. Until I heard someone on some podcast like pronounce them like in excess as a single word, like in an excess amount of something like that. And like, it hit me like, oh, it's supposed to be one of those. Ah, clever, I guess. But anyway, that's that. I'll make a decision on whether or not I'll do another run of this to find the witches, or not. At some point. Anyway, ta-ta for now. Okay, getting back to this, because that ending I've decided, no, that's not an ending. I mean, it technically is. It's a safe ending. It's a good ending. They all survived. They got out of the forest. Nothing bad happened to them. But that's kind of boring. So, we're back. We are back. I would have continued previously, but I had a bit of a headache as well. So, whatever. Anyway, it's a stupid excuse, pointless. Anyway, now that we are here, we will follow the standard structure of intermission. Therefore, what we have now is a bit of a short story for me to read to you. And there we go. Let's see. Short story 27 to exercise the vocal cords again. So, that's British's. Okay. Jolly good shot, right in the right eye. Aye, still squirming though, the poor sod. Then put down and bag it. Nice trophy right there, I'd say. A Cyclops tiger. Can't get much rarer than that these days. Got a bigger knife? Why? To put it down. You what? Just 'cause it's bleeding don't mean it can't tear off your face. It'll be fine. You know it's bad spot to put more holes in it. Plus, Henry bills for each stitch and stretch and stuffing. I ain't so sure though. Right, if it moves too sudden, I'll put it down myself from here. Damn it, don't you dare. It's my kill and I'll be the one to finish the job. Fine, stubborn ass. Won't be my fault then if it kills ya. It won't. 1 year later. And here we have a Bengal tiger. Killed it myself. But what a beast it was. A straight shot through the eye and it still drew breath. Had to go down and put it on the final touch. As I approached, it lay silent and still, but I knew it to be alive. But then it showed it knew that I knew, and pounced at me at just the moment I myself was almost close enough. But I was ready, knife pre-drawn, fighting stance and fully tensed up. Still, it was so quick, my body dodged to the side before I even knew it. Alas, the tiger had the strength and speed of a dozen men and swiped my left arm clean off. I was about to go in shock, but didn't let my body falter just yet. I used this opportunity to lunge at its neck, leaping onto its back. With no time to think, my good arm was under its maw, and with a single slice, I felt its body go limp and fall to the ground, knocking me off balance next to it. I was bleeding heavily myself and couldn't tell if I was facing the sky or the dirt before passing out. When I came to, my pal Douglas had me and the beast in a stretcher and truck heading for the hospital and airport, respectively. And that's when I told him, "Send the arm with my prize, and tell Henry to pose it as ferociously as his Welshman's mind will let him." And by God, look at it, jaw open wide, showing off every pearly white, glimmering with a lust for blood. One-eyed, head up high, looking downwards upon the weak, bullet-shaped shrapnel embedded around the blind eye like a scar. One paw ready to smack down, and who dare think it prey, the other crushing my own arm in defiance of its ultimate fate. Okay, poachers. Sure. Well, anyway, moving on from that, we return to Trick and Treat. We'll be skipping a whole bunch. The cat, they're in the forest, blah, 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 mystery of the disappearing people. We're gonna pick it up, because I think that's still the correct choice there. And now we are going to confront the cat instead. Oh, switch back to gameplay. And that, put myself in the corner. And let's confront the cat. There we go. No, I should not despair. I have to calm down and think carefully about what I should do. With that in mind, I take a deep breath and look again at her. Soon the expression in my eyes changes from fear to courage. It's just a cat, ultimately. Come on now. You're bigger than it. You're stronger than it. I realize it is only a cat. Without a doubt a strange one, but my life is not actually in danger. No. This isn't a tiger staring at me, but a simple cat. Apparently her only power are those weird meows. If she could kill me, she would have already done it. So I rule out that possibility. Her work must be transporting the next victim to this area of the forest. So unnatural and shady. After filling my lungs with air, I slowly walk towards the cat. Her meows get louder with every step, but I don't let them scare me. Meow, meow, meow. Ah, seeing that I do not turn back, she shyly takes a step back. It's just a cat. In my mind, I smiled at that image. The prey is now the hunter. I look at her directly while advancing. Little by little, her meows become weaker, as if she was losing strength. Meow. Then I suddenly jump and take her in my hands. She hardly resists at all. Not so tough now, right? You look better like this. She's trembling in my hands. She looks so helpless that I almost feel like a villain. But I must not forget all that she has done so far. It's her fault that I'm in this place. She brought me here. Then if I kill her, would it be possible to go back? Oh, don't kill the cat. That's not how that works. The fuck are you talking about, dude? For a moment, that grim idea crossed my mind. I had never killed an animal. Truth is that I can't be proud of myself in doing such a thing. I shouldn't. But if I do, maybe this legend could end here and now. Mate, it's just a cat, you just said so. Why do you think it has magical properties that can do all this stuff? Then what should I do? Just keep her captured, come on now. Come on now. It is only logical, the magic should die along with the cat. That should be my ticket back. You don't know the cat is actually magical, the fuck are you talking about? If I kill her, everything would be over tonight, and the legend would come to an end. Confident that it was for the best, I try to view it in my mind. But no matter how hard I force myself to see it, in the end I am unable to take the life of another living being. Good. That's fucked up, that's psychotic. Even if it is a cursed cat serving a witch, I don't feel good killing her. I think I'm too nice for my own good. No. It's the world that's... The problem is the world is too cruel to those that are kind and nice and stuff like that. That's the problem. Instead of the other way around. Kill them with kindness. Turn their wicked ways into niceties and whatnot, or whatever. There's a better way to phrase that. I'm not smart enough to phrase it but in a better way. But you get the idea, alright? So the only thing that remains is to keep her with me, hoping that sooner or later she allows me to escape. With nothing more to think about, I decide the best thing to do is continue my path. Okay. 2:41 a.m. It's been a few minutes since I captured the cat. Again, I find myself walking with her in my arms, led by the strange voice. How long have I been walking in this forest? Apparently, not enough to make me go mad, but it should be close. Don't be afraid. Come with me. I will help you. Right, I keep forgetting there's a voice. It's a feminine voice. The voice sounds closer this time. It seems that I am going in the right direction. I don't fully trust in it, but it's the best I have. At least at first glance it seems like a friendly voice. I am completely focused on my way when I suddenly feel something bite me. I mean, you are holding a cat. Ah, what the heck? It's a cat. It's gonna bite you. Obviously. The fuck were you expecting? I shout in pain, realizing that the cat bit my arm. Fortunately, it wasn't a dangerous bite, but it sure was painful. That's how that works, yes. With my distraction, she takes the chance to jump from my arms, falling a few steps away from me. Quickly, I set my gaze upon her, furious, but soon something happens that makes me forget about my anger. Suddenly, the cat is covered with a bright light. So much that it repels the unnatural darkness surrounding the forest, stealing my breath. Transformation sequence? Under the light, its figure gradually changes until it ceases to be a cat and becomes a human figure. It is. Hello, witch. Hello, witch. On the cover, yeah, there we go. There's the lady. Girl? Witch? Who knows? Entity. Feminine-looking humanoid entity. No longer is there a cat in front of me, but a girl with incredible beauty. I must really be going crazy. She has white hair and red eyes. Yep, that's the cat. She seems about my age. Well, it's a witch. She's like hundreds of years old or something. In other circumstances, I would have asked her out without hesitation. Obviously not the right moment. Context sensitive is not. Just thinking about it makes me laugh to myself in my mind. Even at the edge of madness, it seems some things about me will never change. She approaches slowly towards me, one step at a time, with no fear. The girl then stares into my eyes, with a slightly irritated face. Her lips are moving, she seems to be saying something, but I am unable to hear a sound. Are you trying to tell me something? I babbled, still confused, with a face of disbelief which surely made me look stupid. Said the girl, with a very low voice. I do not understand what she's saying. What? I can't hear her well. I asked, still confused. Suddenly the girl pouts in a bad mood. What's wrong with you? Are you deaf? He might have been, momentarily. Finally, I could hear her clearly. And just in time, because it seems her patience was about to end. Okay, now I heard you, I said, annoyed. All of my astonishment from just a few seconds ago disappears when I see the arrogant attitude of the girl. At least now I don't think she will bite me, I hope. The girl then snorts with irritation. What an annoying guy I had to find, she said. At the time, she places a hand on her hips, making a pensive face. Wait, you shouldn't speak ill of someone you have right before you. I was quick to respond. For a moment, I feel annoyed at the thought that I have to teach manners to this spirit, or whatever she is. A pity, so much beauty wasted on someone so arrogant. The girl let out a snort of annoyance after hearing me. I'm sorry. It's a bad habit that I can't quit, she answered without sounding very repentant, clearly a false apology. After talking, she diverts her gaze towards the surroundings as if she was bored. I see, I replied, annoyed. I just met her and I already feel I don't like her. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I must not forget who this girl is. She was the cat that started it all. Anyway, at least could you tell me why you attacked me and my friends? I asked shortly after, acting more seriously. The greetings were over, it's time to get to the important stuff. And why did you bite me if I wasn't doing anything? Before I knew it, my lips moved, asking another question. I cannot lie, I was angry. Rightfully so. The girl then stares at my face. She blinks with curiosity before speaking. Does it hurt? The wound? She asked innocently. Yes. I was quick to respond with annoyance. I didn't need to say more. Of course it hurt me, silly cat. She looks at me in silence for a few seconds until suddenly she approaches me without any shyness or fear. On second thought, how could a simple human such as me scare a cat that can turn into a person? "Show me your wound," said the girl once she stood right next to me. Her presence makes me nervous. This girl seemed to not know what personal space is. As embarrassing as it sounds, I had never had a girl this close, if only it wasn't in this forest. I don't know why, I shouldn't trust her, but strangely, something tells me that she has no bad intentions. The girl is surrounded by a calm aura, something pure, unlike anything else in the forest. In the end, resigning myself with a sigh, I show her my arm with the bite. The girl sets her sight on my wound. "It will only take a moment," she said with complete confidence. Then she looks up into my eyes. "Could you close your eyes?" she asked as she blushes slightly. I'm surprised to see that embarrassed face she has, even if just a little. Then I sigh, feeling something wasn't right, but there is nothing else I can do. "Okay," I said, doing as she asked. I didn't know what to expect. For a moment, I thought she would get naked or something. Come on now. He's 17-year-old teenager. Of course, his mind is in the gutter all the time. But let's move on with that. But what kind of magic can work only when you have no clothes? That's your stupid brain, dude. Come on now. I don't know, but my mind sure wanted to imagine that. Come on, Alex, keep your composure. Suddenly, I feel something warm and wet touch my wound. Immediately, I shudder. "Wait, what are you doing?" It's a stupid question because I knew well what she was doing. No, you don't. She was licking my wound. "You idiot, who said you could watch?" Was quick to respond the cat. With her cheeks red in embarrassment and her lips still close to my wound, she looked adorably troubled. "Okay, don't you see that I'm just trying to heal you?" She then added in a bad mood. Sorry," I said, blushing. "I thought you would do something more extraordinary. Now I'm not sure. Is she a girl who can transform into a cat, or a cat that can become a girl? Or something else entirely? Sorry to disappoint you not being extraordinary enough," murmured the girl at the same time she gives me an annoyed look, red eyes shining with disgust. It is then that I realize that the pain has disappeared. With curiosity, I look where the wound was only to discover that now there is no trace of it. For a couple of seconds I stay silent, incredulous. "It seems that your treatment worked," I finally said, grateful, still looking at the spot. "But of course, I have experience healing myself," answered the girl, closing her eyes and inflating her chest to show her pride. I actually appreciate what she did, but I still wonder if she really had to lick it to cure me. "I understand, but who are you?" The girl makes a small snort with curiosity after hearing my question. Then she tilts her head and closes her eyes, making a thoughtful face. "It seems I have not presented myself." She opens her eyes and gazes into mine. "My name is Ashley." "So that's her name. I expected something more extravagant." "My name's Axel. By the way, have you ever been accused of witchcraft?" Before I knew it, I asked that question. I guess it was rather rude for me, completely lacking in manners. Be blunt, get to the point. Fuck manners. Get to the point. But I must not forget for even a second that I am in this cursed forest. Ashley suddenly becomes silent. At plain sight, it was obvious she didn't take it well. She takes her time before responding. "Yes, but that was a long time ago." Then she closes her eyes and exhales, emptying her lungs. She seemed to be recalling something painful. Just seeing her made me feel guilty. "I'm sorry, it was not my intention to make you remember it," I said, slightly remorseful. No doubt to be accused of witchcraft must have been a horrible experience. Ashley closes her eyes and nods a couple of times. I mean, she has exhibited actual witchcraft abilities, so it's not unfair. "It's okay. It's not like I can blame your curiosity seeing where we are." Then she looks at me closely with curious eyes. "By the way, how do you know about me? Perhaps you are a sorcerer who has lived during these past centuries," she asked, narrowing her eyes as if she was trying to see the inside of my mind. "What kind of question is that?" "Well, what kind of question was yours?" "So, no, nothing like that," I answered at the moment. "I'm just an ordinary person." I omitted boring, but she didn't need to know that. She can tell. "It's just that there are stories about witches in this forest. But as you can see, the stories are not very convincing, or else I wouldn't be here," I explained, trying to remove any doubt that Ashley may have. Again, she closes her eyes and nods. "I understand." She pauses and looks me in the eyes. It's because of those stupid myths that stupid humans come to this forest, just like you. She then said, looking at me with rejection. Wait, what are you trying to say? We are to blame? I replied, feeling offended. Ashley suddenly looks at me disgusted. Are you an idiot? He's 17 years old. Yes, he is. That's the default state. Yes, if you hadn't come, my existence would be nice and peaceful, instead of this chaos that is in every year. She said, ending with a sigh of frustration. But you're the one who causes all of this. I was quick to respond. I don't even bother to hide my anger. I can't believe what she says. How arrogant can she be? Well, this is Oxfordshire someplace, so they are British, so I'm guessing very arrogant. Yeah, fine, whatever. British people. Look, it's fine, whatever. Sorry. That's an easy joke to make. Ashley opens her eyes with surprise. Then she looks at me with annoyance in her red eyes. Do you not understand? Stupid human. Definitely I don't like this girl. I'm only trying to protect you. Her words take me by surprise. Eh? From what? I exclaimed incredulously. You attack me and attack my friends, only to protect us? Yes, she simply replied. At the same time she nods, filled with pride and confidence. Okay, that's it. I'm getting out of here. Good. I cannot believe how arrogant and self-centered this girl is. I mean, you don't know the full story, so like, After everything she did to me and my friends, I can't stand here any longer. Wait. I had only taken a few steps when I heard her calling me. She sounds really worried. You don't understand the real danger you're in here. No, we do not. Please explain. I stop in my tracks as soon as I heard her. Real danger? I whispered, feeling some doubts. Suddenly, I shiver. It doesn't look like she's lying. Yes, I try to chase them away using illusions. Other times I hit them with my powers. And as a last resort, I scare them directly, as it was in your case. Ashley confessed, blushing a little as if she felt embarrassed of remembering. And why do you do that? I asked, confused. Something isn't right here. Ashley stares at me with her red eyes. If they continue with their curiosity, they will meet an evil entity that will take their lives. What you say doesn't sound very convincing. I immediately interrupted. The only evil entity here is you don't know that she's evil. You're making assumptions here. You're making assumptions, Mr. Axel. Ashley shakes her head in denial. If she was evil, you would be dead. You're wrong. I am the good one. Then she said, looking into my eyes with a pure innocence of hers. I could only laugh at that comment. It had to be a joke. What are you basing that on? After doing all that, you say you're good? You're alive, and your two friends, as we know from the boring ending, are outside the forest. Don't laugh. I'm only trying to protect you, replied Ashley, furious while waving her arms. She then crosses her arms and gives me an unpleased look. Do you expect me to believe that? I replied sarcastically. Yes. Yes, she does. What she said made no sense. But somehow she seemed oddly convinced it was the truth. You're being an idiot, Mr. Axel. She was surely a bit wrong in the head. But it's true. You have to believe me. I mean, I believe you, but you have to oh, what did I press? Oh, right, mouse button to bring up the menu. Oops. You have to believe me. Yes, anyway, Axel needs to be convinced through, a simple explanation of what the fuck is happening here. This time she sounds really worried about me. I actually feel a little sorry for her. And then Ashley then stays silent, looking at me with puppy eyes. However, she soon recovers her proud attitude. If you want, hold my hand. I won't harm you. She suddenly says. I look carefully at her. She has a very arrogant face, as if it was a great honor to be able to touch her. You won't do anything strange? I asked, distrustful, but after seeing her again, I do not think she was lying. God, your mind is just going from one place to another. You say she's evil, but then you're gonna hold her hand. Like, come on, dude. Actually, you're being very, very inconsistent. Ashley nods, full of confidence. I promise you. I stared at her for a few seconds, making sure there isn't a trap. I mean, how could you make sure? You just saw her use magic to transform into a person. Like, you couldn't tell if there was a trap or not. Okay, but why do you want me to hold your hand? I asked this at the same time I extend my hand. Ashley opens her eyes, surprised after hearing my question. Then she stares at me with annoyance. Are you stupid? Obviously to guide you out of the forest. she said just as she takes my hand in one quick move. I then find myself being dragged by this strange girl. But this is the opposite way from where the melodious voice comes from. I said, looking back for a second. I felt really curious about who she was. You ignore that voice. The charm's meant to make them her victims. Think of it as a siren. Ashley explained in a bad mood, with her eyes always looking to the front. It seems she didn't get along well with whoever that person or entity was. Wouldn't you be the one who collects souls of fools? I asked without thinking. I seriously need more experience when dealing with a girl. If only I were more popular. Ashley stops suddenly. She then turns at me, showing me a furious face. You idiot, I already said I'm the good one. For a moment I thought she was going to hit me on the head, but fortunately she stopped before doing so, or biting me again. Okay. I meekly responded as if I were a scolded child. You are a scolded child, man. You're 17, you're just a child still. But if you eat me, I will make sure to give you the worst indigestion in your life. Like, he's not using his brain at all. You idiot, I don't eat humans, replied Ashley, ending with an arrogant snort. 3:11 a.m. Walking for like, what, 12 minutes was it? Or something like that? Or 20? Whatever. Several minutes had passed since I started to walk hand in hand with Ashley. At the beginning, I did not trust her at all, but the more time passed, the easier it was to believe her. I hadn't noticed before how comfortable her hand is, soft and pleasant to the touch. I blushed just thinking about it. Even if she is a witch, she's a girl too, right? Not necessarily. Then I sigh. Come on, Axel, composure. I don't think you're capable of that. I really don't think you're capable of that, Mr. Axel. With every step, the curse of the forest seemed to weaken. The atmosphere was less oppressive every minute, until finally I was able to forget about that unpleasant feeling. Before I noticed, the darkness had returned to normal, feeling only empty. The rotten smell also had disappeared without a trace. Now I could really say I was in a common and ordinary forest, even boring. But I could not be more grateful for that. Just a little more to get out, so let's keep moving. Then I set my sight on the back of Ashley, watching her walk in silence. She was completely focused on that simple thing. If you're the witch from the legend, why are you helping me? I suddenly asked, not thinking twice before it. I was really intrigued by that. Ashley stops and turns, looking at me with an angry face. Idiot, do you really think that all witches are evil? She was right, the general image of witches is not good, but it's not as if stereotypes are truthful. I mean, witches are what? Magic biologists and pharmacists and stuff like that. Wizards are magic researchers. Alchemists are magic weirdos. Are they? No, what was the thing? What was the thing? Artificers are magic engineers, and sorcerers are magic sugar babies, or something like that. And warlocks are warlocks are that. Magic sugar babies. Sorcerers are magic, just like gifted childs or something. That was something. Anyway, doesn't matter. Then she closed her eyes, making an annoyed face. It's true that I had supernatural powers, but I never used them to do harm. Ashley lowers her sight and pauses. Suddenly she looks sad. Oh, yeah, right. I am 0 for 5 for visual novels with... No, this is the fifth one. Without any supernatural elements. One day. Ashley lowers her sight and pauses. Suddenly, she looks sad. My only sin was to be born in that time of the witch hunts. That's why I was condemned. That explains it well. I feel that I can trust she's good. Man, you are so easily convinced, Axel. But there is still one more question. And how did you end up becoming a cat? Ashley immediately blushes. She was so embarrassed that it was almost adorable. Almost. It is adorable. Well, before my execution, there was a cat watching in the distance. So I decided to transfer my soul to it. She explained, avoiding looking into my eyes. Well, that's some advanced witchcraft. Transferring souls. Of course, we now share the body we have like a deal. The cat will be happy as long as it has something to eat and a place to sleep. I try to provide her with all those needs. And in return, she lets me stay in her body. As she talks, she's blushing shyly. I see. I think it's a fair deal. Sure. I replied with a sincere smile. The truth is that I found it a little funny, but it turns out that she's both a girl and a cat. That answers some questions. Does it? I guess. Maybe. Fucking hell. Ashley closes her eyes and nods a couple of times. When she wants to, she can be very cute. Too bad that happens so rarely. You've known her for like 20 minutes. Like, you're making a lot of assumptions. Not saying more, Ashley continues walking to the exit. This time I stay in silence. All that remains for me is to escape from this place. Yes, let's escape from this place. 3:15, only 4 minutes later. Well, here we are, Ashley said just a few minutes after we talked. She isn't lying, I can see the end of the forest in the distance. I had to contain my desire to scream with joy at that moment. There must be 2 other humans close here, your friends. Go with them and return home. I hope that nobody else comes tonight. Ashley said, giving me a subtle farewell, but strangely she does not let go of my hand. She looks deep into my eyes. Amazed, I notice the gentleness that reflects on them. Can you make me a promise? She suddenly said with an honest voice. It was no joke. What is it? I asked, full of curiosity. I don't know what I could do for a witch, but after helping me to escape, I think that she deserves me to hear her request. Okay, I didn't comment before, but like the sentence structures and everything else throughout this whole thing is a bit odd. It needs another additional draft. Overall, like, I can correct some mistakes on the fly, but this is just like the fundamental structure of these sentences is a bit off. It's a bit off. It's a bit off. End this legend, huh? She then murmured with an air of sadness. I can't understand why she asked for something like that. More importantly, how? I want you to help me to keep people away. The legend only attracts more people, as in your case. I need to kill it, replacing the supernatural danger with a human danger. A human danger? So you want to scare them without ordinary dangers, as thieves or ferocious animals? On second thought, there is logic in what you have asked. If you remove the element of magic and only leave the danger that exploring the forest is not worth the risk. Ashley nods and looks into my eyes, blushing. Yes, exactly. She said, pleased. Okay, I'll do it. You can rely on me. Can we? You're a 17-year-old kid. I'm bringing that up, but you're a 17-year-old kid. You're a bit of an idiot. I responded with determination. He has determination. Alright, fair enough. He has determination, so he can accomplish anything. I wanted her to know how serious I was. That was not a promise I would forget as soon as I got out of the forest. Thank you. Then she closed her eyes momentarily and inflates her chest with pride. You aren't as stupid as I thought. What makes you think that? I don't think he's said or done anything to dissuade your idea of him being stupid. At least he hasn't for me. I should have expected something like that. Hey, I told you not to talk ill of someone when they're right in front of you. I complained angrily. This girl, simply will never change. Like, it's been 30 minutes that you know her. Even less for us, actually. After seeing my reaction, Ashley cannot help but laugh. I'm sorry. It's the first time I've seen her so happy. Yeah, that made me blush. Ashley looked unexpectedly adorable at that moment. My heart was nervously beating as if I was with a normal girl. Suddenly she stares at me and gets so close her face is less than an inch from mine. Again, she demonstrates not knowing what personal space is. But this time I don't know whether to be angry or thankful. Having her so close, a beautiful girl, makes me very nervous. This is the farewell, she suddenly said. She then brings her lips to my cheek and gives me a tender kiss. Okay. And lights. Blinding. Everything becomes white at that moment. Everything loses its color. Everything is gone. Everything. Everything. The moon. I'm outside of the forest. I have no idea of how I made it here, but this is no illusion. I am bewildered, as if I had been sleepwalking. Axel! Axel! Suddenly I hear someone calling my name. But it's not any strange voice. It's the voices of my friends who are looking for me. Hey, over here! I shout without a second of hesitation, with a bit of clumsiness because of my confusion. Soon they found me and impatiently run towards me. Where were you? The warrior was killing us, Stephen said with a face that I don't remember having ever seen before. Before answering, I rubbed my forehead. Within the forest, I couldn't find the exit. Alfred was about to say something, but before that, I interrupted him. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was just lost. The important thing is that we are all safe. Yeah, you're right. Hey, don't you feel that we are forgetting something? Alfred murmured at the same time. He lowers his sight pensive. Suddenly, a blurry image appears in my mind. It was white and bright, but I can't remember more. However, that weak memory awakes a strange feeling of nostalgia in me. It was as if I had lost something, but what could it be? Anyway, we should go home. This has gone too far for a test of courage. I said with no intention of spending one more minute in this forest. They both agree with me. With nothing else to say, we can only return home. By the way guys, we should write one on that page to not go to the forest. Forget about witches, somebody might get lost there as if happened to me. It was a miracle that I came out alive with that beast lurking around. Before knowing it, my lips move. Why did I say that? I have no idea, but something inside inspired me to do so. Ah, he has been bewitched. Nice. To be honest, I have no memory of the beast I speak of. All I can remember is that it has red eyes and white fur, but nothing more. Then I remember something. I think it was a promise I made to... Wait, to whom had I made that promise? I think about it for a moment in silence, but in the end I can't remember a thing. No matter, all I know is that I got out and I'll never come back here again. Alright, end. Okay, that's more appropriate. That's a more sensible ending. Alright, I am satisfied with that. That's fine. That is fine. That's fine. Good. I like that. That's a proper ending. I know there's more endings, but I am satisfied with this. And therefore, we are done with Trick and Treat visual novel. Next time, we'll do a different one. But anyway, here's some additional music. So, to lead us out into this pause, into this intermission. Ken Nakagawa and Daisuke Chiwa, Chaotic Moon from the game Malakemia. Either 1 or 2, I don't remember. But those games had pretty solid soundtracks. It's from the Atelier series. Lots of good tracks and lots of bad tracks and lots of mediocre, forgettable ones as well. Anyway, Eric Clapton, Pretendin', Dire Straits, Walk of Life, Queen, Living on My Own, and the Rolling Stones, Brown Sugar. And with that, we conclude this visual novel, but not this week, no. One more thing for this week. Anyway, ta-ta!